Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we are back in the booth for the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA Series, and we are at the last Great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, playing host tonight for 120 laps of high-banked concrete racing, and this is set to be a pretty good one. Last time out was back on the 10th. We ran at the Nashville Super Speedway, and it was another concrete track that was a bit rough, and it's certainly surprisingly a little bit smoother, I think, at Bristol compared to the Nashville Super Speedway. But we'll see how these drivers handle it out here tonight. Good size field, and once again, iRacing still has the bugs in there, so we're in the field. Me and Jimmy, just at least in name and in spirit, but. For everyone out there in the CRI Nation, we're up here in the booth about to bring this one on as we got a good-sized field, 20-plus cars out here working on their qualifying right now. Carl, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, certainly a place that you're very fond of, as we mentioned before, but we're back here at Bristol for 120 laps of racing.
120 laps at Bristol. Yeah, Bristol, baby. It's just a fun track. It's high speed. I know it's short, but it is definitely a ton of fun. And like I said, it was, I'm sure I've said it here many times. It was the first place I got my first win on iRacing after joining about 2 weeks. And when you get into something like that and you can get a win and you really get hooked into this hobby, but definitely a place that I enjoy. And well, I don't mind coming out here and actually turn a couple laps. I got out there a little earlier just to run a couple laps, not too far off pace. I think with a little bit of practice, I could get up there with some of these drivers and put a little fight on with maybe half the field, but definitely not with the drivers up front right now. We have Robert Warren's top of the charts right now with a provisional pole with the 14.498 with about 45 seconds left to go. So that's enough time for about 3 laps, so plenty of time for some of those drivers to get out there. We do have... there's 26 drivers listed, obviously minus myself and Carl. So 24 drivers out here on Bristol. It's going to be a lot of fun. We were here not too long ago with another league, so definitely want to see how this league matches up, just to kind of see how good they go from green flag to green flag. It's definitely after one of their maybe not too good of a showing not too long ago, but I think. Knocked the rust off. Also in attendance tonight is their fearless leader, Tim Lee. Welcome back, Tim. He was gone for a couple weeks, but back in action here at Bristol. We are now done with qualifying, so we'll go ahead and clear that out, and we'll get the running order up here for qualifying and show you where everybody is going to start and for tonight. So on the pole here tonight will be Robert Warnes in that number 95. Along outside will be Mike Hasty. Ross Dalton pulls in a third, P number 3, with Brandon Muir in 4th on the outside. Then you have Maxwell Caldwell and Cade Green taking up road number 3. Road number 4, Robert Kahn and Eric Blount. Road number 5, Hayden Wheeler and Hemi Giardini in the top 10 tonight. Andrew Palesci and Tim Lee will make up row number 6. Gordon Larson and Ty Marasco back in row number 7. Rick Thompson and Daniel Holloway will make up row number 8. Row number 9, Mike Rideout and Tyler Hilton. And the rest of the field here, we will have Len McNeese and Dalton Kilrow back on row number 10. Somehow Carl snuck in there with a 21st position. It
was a flyer. News. It was a flyer. It was accurate. That kind of laugh for me.
Mike Taylor, Michael Pratt, Jimmy Covert, Chris Schuessler, and Robert Smith, obviously minus me and Carl. So back in the field, looks like some of those drivers not having times in, obviously starting with Dalton Kilrow, and then the rest of the field back. So it's going to be interesting. It's not a track that I don't know if I would want to start in the back, as incidents do tend to happen early, warming up the tires and coming through the back. So it'll be a lot of avoidance for some of those top-notch drivers in the back. So good luck to those drivers back there. But looking forward to 120 laps here at Bristol. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, good to see Tim Lee back out here in the field, out of the hospital, and out on the track. Hopefully can keep himself out of the infield car center here, or infield care center tonight, and keep the car out of the wall here at Bristol. But it's not that easy to do here. It's going to be some high-speed action here. It's only a half-mile track, but you get some pretty good speeds up here with this high banking. Dalton Kilbrough, it took him 6 races to get his first win on the season before he got the win at Charlotte, but he's since gone back-to-back, winning at Charlotte and then winning last time out at the Nashville Super Speedway. It's going to be a tall task for him here tonight after not putting in a qualifying time. We're not sure if it was by design or by brushing the wall, what the case is, but he's going to be starting way back there in 18th position, and it's going to be a long way to get up through this field. And got to be careful. It's not that he doesn't have the speed, the pace, the wherewithal, the skills to get up through this field. It's just, it's tough sometimes. Whether you're faster than the guy ahead of you or not, you got to make sure you pick your passes correctly. You got to almost kind of, watch the guy in front of you for maybe a lap before you understand where his tendencies are. If he likes the high line, the low line, before you go ahead and make a move. Maybe you can get some chunks here of passes done on this start here, but you just got to be careful. You got to keep those fenders on the car. Certainly, we've seen cars make it to victory lane here without some fenders, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, you can make it to victory lane here with a little bit of a banged up car, but you gotta have most of it together to have some kind of speed. But Robert Warnes, Mike Casey on the front row for this thing. We'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight and who's going to get the win here at the last Great Coliseum. Race number 8 here for VVR as we get a 3-race stretch here before we get into the summer break time. But green flag is in the air and we are racing at Bristol.
Way to go. Obviously a fresh start down to turn number 1 as Robert Warren leads them off down in that bottom row. And as we've seen not too long ago, that top line can be effective here. So it's just depending on how comfortable they are about getting up close to the wall. And you're going to see already a loose car. Can he save it? It does look like Ross Dalton will save it. Oh, comes up, checks up in front of the 94. We're going to have a little bit of a bottleneck in the back. We'll try to catch up. We got a car around the 17. It looks like Heavy Gardini. He's going to go for a ride. Where's he at? There he is.
Yeah, the 17 on the inside wall there. Doesn't look like he took much, if any, damage in that steel number 17 as he gets it turned back around here. That pace car trying to give him a little damage there, a little shot at the end, but we'll take a look at what happened. We've seen Ross Dalton certainly getting a bit wide.
Yeah, he was
and a little wild coming out of the corner, and it looks like the 94, did not see that. The 94 Maxwell Caldwell shot up into the wall. See Eric Blunt down there in the bottom. Andrew Pileshi, a little bit of contact right there, but you see it's just all kinds of bottlenecked up right there. And then it looks like the 26 of Daniel Holloway really into the back of the 17. The 87 there goes around as well. That's Rick Thompson. And certainly a bit of a pile up here and some damaged cars after this one. We seen the 17 turn around, but all these other cars certainly took a lot more damage than Gherardini did. I mean, he got punted in from behind pretty solidly, but the front end of it still looks pretty decent. Going to bring us under our first caution here tonight, and give us a little time to thank our sponsors here in the series: Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for all their help in sponsoring the series. And a shout out to everyone out there in Sierra Nation watching. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer, and make sure you let us know who you're out there rooting for, who you think is going to get it done here tonight, who you'd like to see get some coverage, whether it's friends, family, or maybe it's just your favorite driver in the series. We'll try and capture them on the screen as much as possible for you. Looks like we may be missing not just me and you, Jimmy, obviously, but looks like Robert Smith not making the start of this race for whatever reason. We'll see if he rejoins the field at some point here, but it's currently shown as out of the race as well. So we got 23 cars still in the mix. Quite a few getting some repairs done already on lap 5.
Yeah, it looks like you might have qualified me, but it definitely looks like you're going to finish 2 spots below me. So, I don't know, Carl. I mean, you might need to get some practice in and do some of these short tracks for some of
I mean, you got the control of the cameras and everything else. I can hop right in the car and just turn a lap and smoke you here tonight. Well, we're getting doubled up here once again. It's going to be Robert Warnes at the front of this thing. Mike Casey's still both on the front row, but Robert Warnes going to be the control car. Cade Green, Robert Kahn, Andrew Pileshi for the top 5. Then you got Hayden Wheeler, Ty Marasco, Tim Lee, Eric Blunt and Gordon Larson for your top 10, but how about Dalton Kilrow all the way up to 11th, navigated through that traffic very nicely, just outside the top 10 already as we are back to green flag racing.
Yeah, we're going to stay on board here with Dalton Kilrow just a little bit to give you guys a kind of what it's like back here in the pack just a little bit as he's going to try to work his way up through. There's a lot of work to do to get up towards the front to keep defending his series title here, but obviously nice and easy. Just got to take your time and choose your battles here. Just down in off the gyro cam so you can see that and the amount of banking here at Bristol and why they go so fast. So down here inside with Dalton Kilrow back here in P number 12 currently. Right in that middle line at the moment, coming down just a little bit before exit.
And one thing that's nice about Bristol is that you got the stands going all the way around, so it kind of protects you a little bit from the glare when the sun is setting. As you can see, it's definitely setting right now, but going, oh man, not sure what happened to the O2 right there. Shot straight up into the wall, and looks like we're gonna have another caution. As you kind of seen it right in front of you right there. I caught it kind of out the corner of my eye at the last second, but big moment there for the O2 of Tyler Hilton.
See that up just a little bit loose.
Already sideways over corrects, and that's what's going to do it. A hard impact into the outside wall for the O2. He tries to keep it up there and out of everyone's way, but then it shoots down off the wall. Catches
right there, Dalton.
Yep, catches Maxwell, Caldwell.
Oh, not Schuessler.
And then the 50 getting involved, the 61 getting involved. It's like the 13 caught a little piece as well. And then an even bigger piece there. That looks like you got it woed up just before getting into Caldwell, but going to bring us under another caution right there. And it seems like, a lot of times Bristol has a tendency to be tight. Sometimes you'll get a little bit loose car going off the corner, but it seems like in between these corners right now, in the middle of the corners is where we're seeing these cars break out and get loose, like in between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It could be because of the sun setting and kind of the track temperature dipping a little bit as that sun goes down and kind of messing with the grip and messing with how these drivers were handling during practice. We'll see if once that sun sets and the lights come on here, if it kind of straightens everybody out a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously the driver's taking full advantage of the cautions right now, and you can see down there just to the right of Barney as he's holding the yellow flag as the drivers are coming down the pits. So a lot of things going on here. Let's see if I can grab one of those pit cameras here. See if it, come on, doesn't want to go. I'll go do this one. There we go. I don't think we have anybody on the back. Well, yeah, we do have a few cars on the back pits.
Yeah, so we got 3 on the back pits, but we are using the single pit lane here, so everybody enters at the same spot. See right there, out of turn number 2, and they'll have to stay down below through 3 and 4, down below that white line, all the way through the pits here to get all the way to the front stretch, and it can be a little bit tricky when it comes to pitting here, even under caution, to try and make sure that you stay on that lead lap. And you see the cars now starting to double file up and catch back up the field. We're going to get back going green once again. It's still going to be Robert Barnes on the front row with Mike Hasty. Barney ready to wave that green flag. So look at Schuessler coming back out right now, and the 50 Russ Dalton also hammering down to try and catch up to this field, but Warren's already on the loud pedal, and we are back to racing at Bristol.
Oh, there they go, and they're going to go down through turns 1 and 2. You see Robert Warren's out front as they head down the backstretch, too wide for most of the field.
Some great views here at Bristol, and some great cameras as well, and it's really not a bad seat in the house, not a bad spot for a camera. It's a lot of just great racing action here. I myself had a chance to get down to Bristol for the dirt race when they threw dirt on the track and let the truck series, the Cup series, let them all get at it on the dirt, and it was interesting to say the least. but it was I will tell you, it looked like it was very slick out there on the track. It was just as slick up in the stands as well, as a few of my fellow friends from the core racing joined me at the track, and had a few off tracks on the stands. We'll just say that, as it looks like Eric Blunt having a bit of an off track up here into the wall. Trying to see who else is involved there through the smoke. Looks like it might have been, is that the 87 maybe? Yeah, the 87 there of Rick Thompson involved in this one. And it looks like just kind of two cars meeting together at the wrong spot there on the front stretch. The 6 coming up a little bit, the 87 coming down off the wall just a little bit. They meet in the middle, and the 6 Eric Blunt not exactly having the start to the night that he would like to have. He was already back there in the back of the pack, and this is not going to get him anywhere closer to moving up as well, getting involved. Looks like the 24 there, Tim Lee getting involved. The 94, again, Maxwell Caldwell stuck in the middle of everything. It's Bristol being Bristol right now, and I think all these drivers are maybe kicking off some of the cobwebs and kicking off some of the rust from being off for another week or two, and it's going to take maybe it looks like a half a race to kind of get everything back underway. But hopefully we can get some green flag running here and see what these drivers can do on the track. But certainly the 41 doesn't mind too much. Dalton Kilroy already up into the top 10, so making amends for the lack of qualifying, the error in qualifying, whatever it is, starting way back there in 20th position, already inside the top 10, and only on lap number 22.
Yeah, doing a pretty decent job navigating through the field. Obviously, I talked about early how starting in the back, you get them incidents that can happen, and they were happening in front of them. Obviously, I think that one was behind them, so running. Right now trying to just get a surviving race at the moment until these drivers kind of figure out how these tires wear down as they warm up here. But did get a couple laps out there, Carl. We're seeing full green flag laps. I think you're running right around 60-ish laps or so. So with these caution laps, that's going to extend that out just a little bit. So it's almost at a point somebody pitted now and was lucky they can make it the rest of the way. I think if they had a couple more cautions. So we're going to see, I think, some strategies coming into play. Start thinking about it. Obviously, when you have a lot of cautions early, it starts going in your head about track position. So right now, all 23 drivers are still, 22 drivers are still in the lead lap, and Thompson is one lap down. So if a caution comes out, Thompson can get back on the lead lap again. So we'll go back there with Thompson. Where is he at? I'm on him. He's in the back, the 87.
Back to green flag racing here, and Robert Warnes leads the way once again, getting the jump on Mike Hasty, and it looks like the field may be spreading out here a little bit this time, but it's not necessarily the field coming together. I know that last incident right there between the 6 and the 87 was two cars getting together, but it's more just getting these tires warmed up and getting them into a happy zone. It looks like the sun has now fully left the track. There's no more glare on the track that we've seen. I believe it was heading into to turn number 3. So the track should start dropping temperature here pretty quickly, and we grip up a little bit and help these drivers get to some racing action, get to some green flag action as well. But at the front, the 95 leads the way. Mike Hasty, Hayden Wheeler, Cade Green, Robert Kahn for your top 5. Then Paleschi, Kilroy, Ghiardini. Just getting in a mix here with Ty Marasco as they're battling out for 8th and 9th, and Ross Dalton rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, so they're doing obviously
a bit in the wall.
Yeah, a little. I don't know if that's net code or them actually brushing the wall. Like sometimes you get that net code smoke. Looks like they touched the wall. But yeah, I see a little bit coming there, but I actually see the cars getting out of shape just a little bit. So that's enough to kind of slow you down. Not what you want to see. We did see here in another rate. We see who was that? Somebody's up against the wall there. Dalton. I think that was not Dalton. Ross Dalton. Yeah, Ross Dalton. Back there using the wall, slowing him down just a little bit. It's like a break, A little check up there by the 17 and Hemi Gardini, and he's gonna get sent around. Another caution here. As Gardini gets spun around. Another caution here on lap 31 of 120.
This one involving Gardini. Looks like Brandon Muir involved in this one as well. Both turned around, faced the wrong way, and yeah, not sure if Gardini can actually get that thing moving, if he's missing a tire or not. It seems like it's not running exactly right. Let's take a look at the incident here again. A little bit loose off the corner. Not sure if Netco was involved in that one, but then looks like taking the air off the back end. Is that the 50 of Russ Dalton possibly helping the 17 around there via netcode? And it takes out the 13 as well, both up into the wall pretty hard, and 17 on top of the 13. Maybe that's why the 17 couldn't get moving right away. He was literally on top of the 13. I did not see that right there. So it's kind of hard to get moving if you don't have tires on the ground, Jimmy.
I mean, yeah, you really can't get any closer than what these two drivers are at. Like now, you can see the 17 up in the air, and I still have it slowed down here, but I'll go speed up. And he was trying to go, and finally Mir just gave him a little shove, get him off his nose.
Not something you see often right there. Looked like Gardini was maybe just doing some burnouts on the nose of the 13 just to get going there, but 13 had to shove him off and get him back going here. We're back under caution here, and it's getting close to that point that Jimmy mentioned earlier, where you can take a flyer and maybe the cautions fall the right way for you, because at this point the race isn't getting the green flag runs that you want to see, that we of course all want to see out here, but it can turn strategies about 100 different ways, and you start to think about, is it worth coming in now to take tires and just kind of work my way up through these cautions and just get that track position and hold on to it that way, because as of right now you're not going to be using your tires up too much through these green flag runs. So, it could be worth already taking a new set of tires, and maybe you get a green flag run, and if you do, you're going to have better tires than everybody else, and you can kind of walk away. But it looks like Robert Warren's, actually it looks like the entire field here going to be going single file for this restart. As the pace car lights are out, we're going to get this thing back underway here at the completion of lap number 35. We're going to go single file. Hopefully this will generate a little bit of green flag run for everyone out there in CRN Nation. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and help these guys get their product out there. I know it's a little rough around the edges right now, but I promise you this is hopefully the storm before the calm.
The storm before the calm. I have to get down the green pedal here. And speaking of calm, I had a nice start there. I had a pretty good run on there on Dalton Kill Road. You see Andrew Blushy going down his left side. I'll go ahead and I'll take that tower down for a little while as the running order is up top of the screen. So trying to stretch it out here. They're trying to clean up a little bit, and that's what the admins do here while they're in attendance in the field here. They try to make the racing as good as possible. I guess the bad part about when you single file start, especially if you're towards the back of the running order, you really double the length of your distance from the leader, which can make things a little more difficult for you. But if you can get a longer green flag run, then you could benefit from it. So, but right now you can see Ross Dalton continuing to play chicken with the wall. He's tagged it a few times here now with Andrew Gillespie down the inside. It does take up, like I said, here at the top, that we know that the top line. Ooh, and Andrew Gillespie tags the wall here with Robert Kahn behind him. So definitely just watching these drivers get up there, and we've seen that cars blow their motors here a couple nights ago just from overheating. So I didn't have any issues when I was running a few laps, Carl, but I didn't get anything super long out here to try to push the car. So right now doing a pretty decent job. They are pretty bunched up, even though they're single file. And you see, Ty Marasco going down to the inside, looking for that pass on Robert Kahn. Couldn't quite make it stick. you got to watch because the driver's behind him trying to take advantage of him being having to check up to catch that car.
Yeah, last week that was the Core Xfinity Series that we seen here at Bristol, and so it was different cars dealing with the overheating, but it's also a car that I don't think I've hardly ever seen have issues with the overheating. I know the word is that the car had a little bit of front end damage, so I'm sure that certainly played a part in it. But I mean, it's very easy to get a little front end damage here at Bristol, no matter what car you're in. But looks like hopefully, knock on wood, gonna stretch this thing out here a little bit, do a little green flag running, and you see it is pretty packed up there at the front of the field, all the way back to about 12th place. But then a little bit of a gap, and then from there on, it kind of spreads out the field here a little bit, almost to the point where the leader is really only about a half a straight away, or I should say 2 corners behind the back of the pack already. Robert Warren's putting in a good pace, but right behind him, Mike Casey not exactly letting him go anywhere. Hayden Wheeler in 3rd. Ross Dalton, Dalton Kilrow up to the top 5 already. Ty Marasco, Andrew Pileshi, and Robert Kahn battling for 7th and 8th. Then you got Tyler Hilton and Michael Pratt for your top 10.
Yeah, doing a pretty decent job here. A single file start. I don't know if it was the call, but it's what they decided to do, and they're making the best of it as they are now spread out. You can see on the skills on the map, the skills on the track map are starting to spread out as they cover about 3/4 of the field. It doesn't take long. I could sit on one camera and it'll be back around in about 10 seconds or so, but it's kind of nice to hear the cars zoom on by here as they work their way around Bristol here. But back up front here, still got single file action for quite a few of the cars back here, all the way back to Andrew Pileshi, running a little bit different line than some of the other drivers out there, running a little bit lower than most. I should say more consistently.
Put a brush of wall there for Robert Kahn. Trying to work in. You got to try and push as much as you can off of these corners to really keep up and try and make your moves, make your passes. But just one little slip of that back end, and that's what we've seen tonight. Is we've seen that back end wanting to step out, and seen Robert Kahn brush the outside wall there a little bit outside the 77. Michael Pratt putting the move on Tyler Hilton to move himself up into 9th place. And Jimmy, we've said it before, it's before halfway. What is Michael Pratt doing this far up in the field?
I don't know, but he's got a sponsor too. What's up with that?
I mean, that's what it is. He realizes he's got to pay the bills.
Yeah, Michael Pratt was sporting Die Hard on the number 77 this week here, so it's good to see Mike out there with some livery and maybe somebody jumping on board to give him a little bit of support. He does a lot of good racing. I mean, obviously he takes the challenge from coming from the back most weeks. He is up 14 spots, so he did start in the back this week as well. The only one person doing a little bit better is going to be Dalton Kilrow. It just moved up another spot as he's battling with Ross Dalton, but goes to the outside as maybe Ross Dalton has started to use up the tires just a little bit as we're having a little bit longer of a green flag run here. Their tires last about 15 laps, by 15 to 20 laps before they really start going away if you're pushing on them really hard. And if you're going to try to be out there for 60 laps, you're going to be hurt by the end.
Biggest movers of the race, obviously Dalton Kilrow up 16 spots into 4th place. Michael Pratt up 14 spots into 9th, but Ty Marasco is also up 7 spots after starting 14th. He's up into 7th, or at least battling for 7th. You see him right there on the screen. Back a little further, just outside the top 10, Mike Wright out. Started 17th. He's up 6 spots in 11th. So certainly some big movers, but we got some big movers going the other way as well. Biggest losers, if you will, in terms of positions from the start of the race. Brendan Muir started up there in 4th position. He is now way back there in 21st and just kind of trying to make it around here. He's certainly seen some bumps and bangs in the early part of this race. You see that 13 still has some bumps and bruises to show for it. Hemi Giardini back 13 spots after starting in the top 10. Looks like he's got the car for the most part cleaned up and looking fresh here once again, but all the way in the back of the field that is running right now in 23rd. And he's got a little bit of company coming up from behind. And it's not the leaders quite yet. That is Chris Huesler right now. Not for a position, as Giardini is 1 lap down, trying to get himself back up there on the lead lap as the lucky dog. But the leaders are not that far behind, as Robert Warren's still leading the way. Mike Hasty in second. Hayden Wheeler, Dalton Kilroe, Robert Kahn for the top 5.
And the leaders have been doing a pretty decent job, obviously being able to keep it going. And it's going to start to get interesting as they catch the lap traffic and have to work their way around. So we'll see, how the other slower drivers maybe are handling. Maybe they got a little bumped up car just a little bit, and if they're 1 lap down, they might battle just for a little while, just hoping for that caution to come out before they get overtaken by the leaders, so they don't have to get that lucky dog taken away. So right now, Schuessler going 1 lap down, so that would make him a lucky dog. It does look like Tyler Hilton, the O2, is down into the pits.
Well, that's what I was just about to bring up, Jimmy, is we're 66 laps into this race right now, and we had quite a few drivers that have not touched pit road just yet. As the top 7 right now in the running, and then Cade Green in 10th place have not come down pit road at all under any of these cautions, not even a top off. So it's getting to that point where they're going to have to come down here pretty soon. I know we had a lot of caution flag laps in the beginning, certainly helped stretch out that fuel. You're not going to stretch it out 120 laps, though. You're going to have to come in here probably starting in the laps, the 70s is when you'll see these guys having to come in. And green flag pit stops here at Bristol, especially with the single pit lane, you're going to be going down at minimum 2, maybe even 3 laps. So you cannot have a caution happen when you're in pit lane.
No, and you talk about maybe somebody that might be sitting kind of pretty at the moment is Holloway here in the number 26, as he was in on lap 33. So if he can manage to keep it together and has enough fuel, if he's able to save that long, I think he might be outside the window still, going green as long as they have. Like I said, I think if they had some green flag laps or cautions or whatever thrown in there, you might be able to get into the 70 ranges we're seeing right now. We're at lap 71. So, yeah, I think he's going to be close. Some of these drivers that were in here on lap 33 would be himself, Len McNeese. I could see them trying to stretch it out as these drivers come down. You see Ty Maraska down on the pits right now on your leaderboard there. Back in 15th place. So pit stops, I think, are starting to happen, and maybe they're getting, if their fuel calculator is correct. Ooh, the 21 bouncing off the wall a little bit, almost got into the 92.
3 wide heading into the corner, and somehow they're going to work it out. Com bouncing off the wall, trying to get around the 92 there of Hayden Wheeler. But 2 by 2 here, all battling for position. Actually, the 98 looks like he is a lap car right now. But this is some tight racing at the front of this field, and again, you see a lot of blank spaces. Other than aside of myself and Jimmy there down there at the bottom, we didn't have to pit at all yet. We're getting great fuel mileage, not burning anything off right now. But those 7 of the top 8 right now have yet to come down pit road, and it's getting pretty deep in the race, but you got to feel for them. They got to stick it out as long as possible, and you see what new tires can do. I mean, Rocket Ship is the 0-2 right now, working his way through all of this traffic, and he has to do it quickly to try and get himself in a good position, utilize these fresh tires. But here come the leaders. Warren's Hasty in the pits. Hayden Wheeler also in. Cade Green coming in the pits as well. Going to shuffle up the front. How about the move right there by the O2? Just grease up the sides and just slide right through there. The O2 makes the pass. Now the 26 look to go 3 wide there behind him. Well, the O2 new tires.
Yeah, so Daniel Holloway obviously going to the lead here. Was in on lap 33, and it's a good spot to be right now. Obviously, we're all the way back to P11, where they are P10 now, where Michael Pratt has come down into the pits. And now Mike Rideout's coming down into the pits. It looks like he was in on lap 12. So obviously, 26 maybe hoping for a caution, as he's got a lot of drivers right now kind of in that window, stuck down 2 laps. 26 of Daniel Holloway working on getting around the 24 of Tim Lee again. That's going to put Tim Lee down as well. So 6 cars on the lead lap at the moment, and this is not the time
going to be even less
for anything to come
it's going to be
out.
even less here soon. As Kilrow and Robert Kahn, the last 2 to come into the pits, have done so. They are now in pit lane. Mike Rideout also in pit lane. It's going to shuffle things up, and we'll be down to 5 cars on the lead lap. And if you're Holloway, I mean, even for the guys that are only 1 lap down with, you know, Tim Lee and Mike Taylor, I mean, a lot of these guys, even just 1 lap down, are in a good spot to be in. But certainly your top 5 now with Holloway, McNeese, Blunt, Thompson, and Caldwell, they're sitting pretty right now for the time being, but they're going to have to come in the next maybe 10 laps or so as well. But you got to give it to the 6 in 3rd place. I mean, we've seen him involved in just about every incident, I think, in the first couple laps here. But all of a sudden, he's got himself up in the podium spot here. And we're in the second half of this race and pretty deep. I mean, granted, he's going to have to make a pit stop yet. This top 5 is still going to have to come in. You see Len McNeese now coming into the pits. Doesn't want to get run over by some of these guys out here with fresh tires.
Yeah, it's probably a safe call, as everybody is starting to run pretty good here. As obviously, you kind of wonder how everybody's going here. We're going to go 3 wide here with Dalton Kilrow and the 26. Oh, Dalton, the 26 is going to go around. That's going to bring out a caution. That is going to play big dividends for your top 8.
Absolutely, and Rick Thompson just coming into pit lane. You see him right there. That may hurt his chances, but Holloway, Blunt, and Caldwell sitting pretty at the front. It looks like Thompson may end up getting the wave around here, but you see it right here was 3 wide racing, but that wasn't the issue. The 41 looks like he just caught that little slick patch coming out here, and you see it's already kind of leaning out to the side a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just keeps rotating on through. The 50 sees it, tries to get up out of there, and actually doesn't even touch him until it's kind of just a little bit too late, and the 41 was going to go around anyway. Little bump to the back end there, and back-to-back wins for Dalton Kilrow. 3 in a row. It doesn't look like it's on the cards here tonight. It just made his pit stop. He was down 3 laps. Going to be back even further right now. Last car 3 laps down in 21st, but look at that leaderboard right now. I mean, it's it's what happens here at Bristol when you actually get a good green flag run, and you see all these drivers, you know, kind of on different strategies, but man, working out perfectly for your top 4. Michael Taylor getting the wave around, getting the lucky dog here. I don't think it's out of the possibility there. We'll see a lot more on the lead lap here eventually, with some more cautions potentially coming out in the last 30 laps or so. But Holloway, Taylor, Caldwell, Blunt, all on the lead lap, and certainly looking pretty here with what's going to be 30 laps to go on the restart.
Yeah, most of those cars will go, you know, they'll end up being 1 lap down. The guys being 1 lap down should get on the lead lap as long as everybody came in. Looks like Holloway is the only one that came in. So with Taylor, Caldwell, Blount still staying out, yeah, it's going to trap them down even farther.
Well, Taylor, I'm seeing last pit on lap number 33. So I'm really kind of wondering why the 98 stayed out there on the track. He's definitely, he can't make it all the way to the end. I mean, he'd be looking at 87 laps on fuel, and even with cautions, I don't think that's any kind of possibility. So we'll see how it plays out. But pace car is in, and all of a sudden we're ready to go. It seemed like it was a bit of a jumbled mess there, but either way, we're back in racing here, and Maxwell Caldwell, thank you very much, going to step out to a nice lead here on the restart. We're still single file here once again, and Michael Taylor in 2nd place, but quite a ways back here as the 98 starting to get eaten up here. I think those older tires, not sure if he missed the call for pit lane, but we got another caution. Take a look at who this involved. I think it was the 87 and Rick Thompson getting involved in this one.
Oh my God.
And same thing, you see it entering the corner. The 87 gets loose, tries to check up, and 13 again just can't catch a break tonight. The 61 getting involved. Looks like Robert Kahn somehow sneaks around there, as does Hemi Ghiardini. But the 13, man, I think he's been facing backwards more than he's been facing frontwards tonight, and it's really not his fault. Brandon Muir qualified up there in 4th, and it's just been downhill ever since.
Yeah, tough break there for some of them drivers. Oh, it gets tagged again by the 76.
That was that the biggest net code you've ever seen? I mean, I just seen his back end go up. I'm like, there was no car anywhere near him. What just happened?
Oh, Carl, it's Bristol, baby.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, it's going to get, looks like another car back on the lead lap, and Andrew Pileshi going to be the recipient of the lucky dog on this one. But now Michael Taylor, I think, realizes, hey, I'm not going to make it to the end. He brings that 98 down in there, and I think it's a good move here. But maybe even a better move with the quick caution there. He's going to get back out there, going to restart in 4th position, because Pileshi's going to have to go to the back of the line. So he'll be in 4th, and he'll have some fresh tires. This could be very nice here for the number 98. But 5 cars back here on the lead lap. Got a bunch that are 1 lap down, wanting to be that lucky dog. So it's kind of the race within the race here, because 26 laps to go. I doubt we've seen our last caution. I know we had a nice green flag run there in the middle, but Jimmy, it's getting down to crunch time.
Yeah, getting down to crunch time. I mean, it seems like we just started. Very quick race here tonight. Obviously, Bristol, one of them faster tracks. Well, laps. Even though they're 120 laps, there's just plenty of laps to go out here. The official races aren't that long. I think they're right around the 70 or 80 mark, if that. And definitely, they can be filled with cautions. And if you're running the ARCA car, it's probably a D race, and they don't have cautions. So it's all about managing your tires and your fuel and staying out of trouble the whole time, because people will wreck. They come in, they'll get new tires that come out, and then they're rocket ships out there, and they're just like missiles that you got to watch in your mirror. So, but the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell is going to start this thing off yet again from the front, as the pace car is in. He's on the loud pedal, with Eric Blount there in 2nd, Daniel Holloway's in 3rd, and then you got Ross Dalton there in the 50, trying to make things happen.
And Dalton is down a few laps. He's down 2 laps, so he's trying to get 1 lap back the hard way, and just not going to happen. We got another caution here in the field. Trying to see who involved this one. It might have been Hayden Wheeler. I think it might have been one of the cars involved in this one. Let's take a look back and see what happened. And now right there, the 95. Robert Warren's getting into the side of Len McNeese is actually what's going to start this. And then Hayden Wheeler kind of nowhere to go in the Dodge 92. Gets into the back, and Ty Marasco just keeps it on the loud pedal, drives right through the middle there. Kilbro a little bit more cautious, but makes it through. And then you see the 19 just squeaking by there is Cade Green. And everyone files around the 92 from there. But going to bring us under another caution, get us another car back on the lead lap. So we're up to 2. I mean, we're up to 6 as Mike Hasty going to move his way around there. So I guess, I don't know. I guess we could possibly have a top 10 yet on the lead lap. The way this thing is going, we're going to be under 20 laps to go, though. So it's time is starting to tick down. And I know Tim Lee was out in the hospital. He's better now, but he's sitting 7th right now. He is the first car 1 lap down. He's in the lucky dog position. He may be over the sickness that put him in the hospital, but does he got the bubble guts right now? Looking at the place that he's in. I mean, he's back here on the track. He's inside the top 10. We don't get to see this too often with Tim Lee. I mean, it's got to be churning right now, wondering what he could do in the rest of this race here. But either way, we're going to be under 20 to go here. It's going to be Maxwell Caldwell leading the single file race here back to the line. It'll be 19 once we get the green.
Yeah, laps are really ticking away here. I mean, 19 laps ain't nothing at all here at Bristol. Hopefully it does look like everybody is going to be good with fuel for the rest of the way. So only time I think anybody's coming down the pits is right now is in top 6 right now, and possibly Tim Lee, but you can see how far Daniel Holloway started back after they went back to green. The caution laps are quick here, and a lot of times it doesn't quite give you enough time to get up there. So, but right now it's going to be the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell in the lead with Eric Blunt second, Daniel Holloway in third, Michael Taylor in fourth, Andrew Blushy's in fifth, Mike Hasty is now in sixth, and then one lap down will be Tim Lee, Ty Marasco, Robert Warrens, Kate Green, Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Hayden Wheeler, Ross Dalton, Gordon Larson, Michael Pratt, Dalton Kilroe, Mike Wright out, starting with Wheeler, what's in 13th and one lap down. So
what's going to be interesting here is every one of these restarts, the lucky dog ends up being probably the best recipient on the track, because he gets to go into the pits, get some fresh tires. So that's what Mike Hasty did right now. He's got to start at the back of this entire field here, but he's got the freshest tires on the track. So one more caution, he can get all the way up there and rejoin these guys at the front. But Maxwell Caldwell already back on the loud pedal as he is trying to step away, already half a second ahead of Eric Blunt. And then another good bit of distance behind is this battle right here. Paleshi gets wicked loose, fights it up the track into the wall. Gonna stay green as he comes down into Robert Kahn. 3 wide now as the 77 shoots through the gap. He's trying to get up there and get himself a lap back. And that is Michael Pratt down 2 laps right now. But again, another one trying to get one back the hard way and then try and fight under another caution to get the lucky dog. But it is go time here at Bristol. 15 to go. Maxwell Caldwell puts in the fastest lap of the race, and now you look back, Ross Dalton puts in the fastest lap of the race. It's starting to heat up, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers out front know they need to, get out there, get away from some of these drivers that maybe be on fresher tires than them. But right now, Maxwell Caldwell looking pretty good here in the 94. Up 4 spots from the start. Daniel Holloway, not biggest mover, but up 13 spots, sitting in P #3, and back to Paleshi, 7 spots, and he's still having issues with that 81, getting just a little bit loose, trying to get everything he can out of this car here as the laps are just ticking away faster than they want them to. There's not much time for the drivers to get as many points as possible for their championship run, but Andrew Paleshi currently sitting in 4th, Mike Taylor's in 5th, all the way back here with Mike Hasty. We've seen him up front earlier, currently sitting in P #6, so down a few spots from already started.
Yeah, he got the lucky dog, so he's trying to work his way up through the field. And I think that the issue with Paleshi is he's on some older tires right now, maybe saving a set of tires for late caution, but certainly paying the price right now in that 81, falling back a bit. Still in 4th place. I mean, it's nice when there's so few cars on the lead lap that you can have some issues and still be inside the top 5, but everyone hunting to try and catch Maxwell Caldwell, but he is stepping out. 1.2 second lead right now over Eric Blunt. And looked at the beginning half of this race and you thought there was no way that we'd see the top 3 that we see right now. Maxwell Caldwell involved in a bunch of incidents. The 6 of Eric Blunt involved in a bunch of incidents. The 26 Daniel Holloway, we've seen him involved in incidents as well. But it's Bristol, baby, and we've got some mix-up because of some cautions at the wrong time for a lot of drivers. And we've got a brand new top 3 up here, 7 laps to go. And Jimmy, we'll get to talk to 3 guys that I feel like Maxwell Caldwell, I know we've talked to, but Blunt and Holloway, it's been a long time. And maybe for Holloway, I'm not sure if we ever even got a chance to talk to Holloway. It's been so long, but either way, good run for all these 3 in the right spot at the right time. Andrew Paleshi, Michael Taylor rounding out your top 5. Mike Hasty still trying to work his way through the field to get up there, but it's all Maxwell Caldwell at the front, clicking these laps down to 5 to go.
Yeah, 5 to go, and just going down back through some of the battles here. We got Robert Warrens doing the best he can to continue, getting as many points as he can as he's fighting. He's one of the top runners there in the points currently with Ty Marasco. But Ty Marasco's got that outside line working for him right at the moment, and we've seen how they can get that run on the outside, and just you see him on the straightaway just basically pull away, and then they get him down on the inside. But that outside, he's clear now. But
thought he was. little bit of a shove coming out of the corner. This is the battle for the lucky dog position as well. So quite big. And then Andrew Palesci had to jump on the brakes there to avoid getting in the back of the one. But one is all we're going to have left next time by. It's 2 laps to go right now. The 94 down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. He's got a 1 second lead over Eric Blunt. He's going to see the white flag this time by from Barney. 1 more lap to go here at Bristol. Maxwell Caldwell put himself in the right spot at the right time, and it's looking like it's going to pay off here tonight in dividends. It's going to help him out certainly in the points, but he is going to be your top spot here tonight. The 94 of Maxwell Caldwell getting it done. Winner here at Bristol, Eric Blunt, Daniel Holloway, Andrew Palesci, Mike Taylor for your top 5. Jimmy, it doesn't mean you don't have to be the fastest guy on the track, especially at a track here like Bristol. You can figure out your way around here, even with a banged up car. But when you have that happenstance that you actually get a long green flag run, you better be in the right spot when that caution it comes out, because as Tim Lee gives it a shot, and again we had a car up in the air and on somebody's hood. But I mean, you have to be in the right spot when that long green flag run comes out, because we've seen quite a few cars that did not pit, and then all of a sudden we had a long green flag run and they got screwed majorly. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, we've seen a ton of cars 3 or even more laps down. I mean, Dalton Kilroe did a heck of a job just getting back to 1 lap down, but he was, he ran through the field. He looked like the fastest car on the track, and all of a sudden that caution comes out and he's out of the running.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of seen it was building up. That you had a lot of cautions there in the beginning. Obviously, some of these drivers are here at the end. They were able to stay out. And obviously the good call, knowing that cautions can happen, and with the laps dwindling, people are starting to get anxious and push the car just a little bit, end up stepping it out, caution flies, and now you got 3/4 of the field trapped 1 lap down. So definitely it was a good call. I mean, obviously they got involved in earlier incidents and put them in that situation, but they were able to get their cautions or their repairs under green. So that put them in they got the repairs under caution instead of under green. So that way they were able to take fuel, get repairs done, buy some tires, and they were good to go. So good call. I mean, it was just unfortunate in the beginning for them, but it worked out in the end.
Well, it worked on the end for the top 5 for sure. Even the top 6, Mike Hasty being there on the lead lap, but for so many more, they were in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But that is going to do it here for tonight. Jimmy, why don't you give us a final rundown of tonight's results?
Yeah, final rundown of tonight's results is going to be Maxwell Caldwell winner here at Bristol over Eric Blount and Daniel Holloway for your top 3. Then Andrew Palesci, Michael Taylor, Mike Hasty, Robert Warrens, Ty Marasco, Tim Lee, and Cade Green will be your top 10. And then in 11th is Tyler Hilton, Len McNeese, Ross Dalton, Michael Pratt, Dalton Kilroe, Gordon Larson, Mike Rideout, Brandon Meir, and the rest of the field will be Robert Kahn, Hemi Gardini, Chris Schuessler, Hayden Wheeler, Rick Thompson, and then the people that didn't start. So definitely a good night here at Bristol. Obviously, maybe a few more cautions than they would like, but after a couple single file starts, so they were able to get some green flag runs in here tonight and have a good time.
Jimmy, I noticed you didn't say anything about me beating you and finishing in 24th, and you way back there 25th.
Your name starts with a C.
Okay. It's okay. I understand. 18 on top of the 14. I got it. It's all good. Well, either way, we got our top 3 in here, ready for their well-deserved interviews here. And we'll get to them here in a second. Want to thank once again our sponsors here for the series: Hilton Crafts and Designs, Goldline Guardians, and I dropped that line and it got me all screwed up now all of a sudden. All right, bear with me a second here. Anyway, so it is Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and Goldline Guardians. So thank them for their sponsorship. Want to thank all the fans out there for tuning in as well. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But we got our top 3 here ready for their interviews, and we're going to go ahead and kick them off here in a second. We'll go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take the 26 of Daniel Holloway?
Hey, Daniel, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
I do.
Well, first, welcome to the booth. I don't think we've gotten a chance to talk to the number 26 yet here this season or even the previous season. So it's good to talk to you. Good to have you up here. Definitely a crazy night, but you found yourselves in a bit of a situation, in some situations early on, but during that green flag run, you had the fuel to stay out and got that caution at that right time and were able to basically secure yourself with at least a top 5 at the moment, but you were leading. So give us a little rundown of your race and how you thought it went and whatever else you can add.
Well, crazy start, that's for sure. Just got caught up in a couple of wrecks, but I mean, it didn't really damage my car or anything like that. And then just every caution came out and pitted. Once we finally got the green flag run that we needed, I already had enough fuel and I took tires there and I was just taking my time, saving my tires and just picking guys off one by one and stuff. And once I got to third or fourth, everybody was already pitting in and I was just smooth. I know they would have had to get around me, but it wouldn't have had enough. In my eyes, I don't think nobody had enough time to get at least 2 laps back and then pass me for the lead by the time, 120 laps. Because, shoot, this track, that, 4 laps a minute, it goes pretty quick. You blink your eye, there it is. Interesting race. I just needed the longer run. I felt stronger in the longer run where everybody was cooking their tires and burning it, and I was saving them. So, but first top 3 season for this season, and I'll be off and on here since I got some family stuff going on Thursday nights with my kid at high school with prospect stuff and going on now. But interesting night, that's for darn sure.
Well, in any case, it was great to see you, be able to take the, have the luck roll your way finally, even after getting involved and get yourself a good finish here and get a chance to talk with us. So we're going to give you the opportunity for that number 26. Do you have any shout outs?
Shout out to you guys up in the booth and Tim putting this league on VR. Family and friends out there watching. Bring back memories with racing these guys, and every time I come back in here, race with the same paint scheme, and they read my back bumper saying, "Hey, kiss this," it goes a long ways with that. So there's a joke with that, and since with this paint scheme and everything, everybody calls me the Candy Man. So, but again, sorry. Shout out to everybody, all these guys.
This is your time. Live it up, buddy.
Live it up. Yep. That's right. Good job, Maxwell, for a crazy finish there. I was starting to catch him again, but I just needed more laps, more green flag.
Yeah, definitely ran out of laps here tonight, but definitely were able to get that great finish. And we do like hearing the backstory of some of the drivers, and you'll be known as the Candy Man for sure. We'll be looking out for that 26th for some better finishes throughout the season when you get the opportunity to get out here. We know that family's important, so we commend you for doing that stuff with your children. But again, from CRM, we want to say congratulations, and we're going to let you go and celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, guys, and have a good night. And I think we're off next week. If not, I think we're at Talladega, but that'll be a fun one.
All right, we'll see you at Talladega.
See you guys.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 26 of Daniel Holloway. Second place here tonight. I guess that the first question I probably should ask him is, does he remember his way to the booth? It's been so damn long, Eric. But you're back up here in the booth and get a second place finish here tonight. I mean, I got to say, first 50 laps of the race, you could easily see a podium was coming, right?
Yeah, the car had speed. I mean, we qualified in the top 10. I was running there until we had a mystery incident. I don't know what happened. Put us in the back. We pitted, got fuel and no tires, got fuel. And when the cycle started to run out, we had 25 laps more than everybody else when they started pitting, and we decided to just run it long.
Yeah, and it was the right call. I mean, it's tough when you get a race like this. There's so many cautions in the beginning. But I think you have to kind of be prudent once you get that, fourth or fifth caution early on. You have to at least come in like you did and take that whether it's just fuel or not, just get that fuel to run it out long, just in case you get that green flag run. It maybe doesn't happen that often here at Bristol, but when it does, exactly what happened tonight is what can happen. I mean, you guys came out there and there was 3-4 cars on the lead lap, and as bad as the beginning of the race had to be for you, I mean, it seemed like you were involved in just about every incident in the beginning, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the perfect spot.
Yeah, like I said, that one, I think it's like one, we were running like 7th or 8th, and I don't know, I think it was the 87. I'm not sure. I don't want to call anybody out, but they got into us, spun us. We went all the way to the back. I decided let's just hang out here because, like you said, we had another caution, another incident. So I was like, it's probably safer back here. So we just kind of like took it easy, saved the stuff, and like I said, once we pitted and we had the extra fuel, we decided just run it long. We were going to pit with like 20 to go, take 2 rights, a splash of fuel, so we still probably would have finished in the top 10.
Well, I mean, I got to ask you, it's been quite a while since we got to talk to you. How good is this top 5 feel, let alone getting on the podium here tonight?
Feels great. I mean, we were on pace at the beginning of the season to really do pretty well. We got a third, early in the season, I think at Daytona, or 4th, I think it was at Daytona, and we haven't podiumed. This is our first podium of the year, but then we had some connection issues and missed 2 races. So we lost 30-plus points in 2 point-paying races. Finally got the connection flawless, and we're trying to march our way back into the top 10.
Well, it certainly worked out well tonight. You have had pace. It doesn't really seem like pace is hardly ever the issue for you. It's just it's finding your way around the incidents. It seems like the incidents always come and find you, and you even had one find you tonight, but it was enough to keep you off the podium here tonight. So heck of a run out there, and I mean, now do you take this momentum into May? I mean, we got a couple of very different tracks coming up. We got Talladega coming up next week, and then Chicagoland before you guys have a little mini break. How do you feel about those 2 tracks coming up?
Well, Talladega is a home state, so that's my home track. Looking forward to that one. I'm always run good at Talladega. Have a rocket ship there, so I'm looking forward to that one and the rest of the season. I mean, like I said, my only issue, my connection held me back. Now that we got that fixed, we're ready to try to charge back up to the top 10 in points and try to salvage something out of this after missing those 2 races,
It's so tough with the competition that's here in the league to make up big chunks of points, but tonight certainly is one that helps out. So congrats on the second place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to on the number 6?
I want to shout out Wifey. Let's come out and do this thing, and all the team guys was with us. Mike Hasty, Gordon Larson, Hemi, Brandon Meyer. We all hang out together in the same room, run together, bounce ideas off each other. So everybody was running pretty good. That caution screwed a bunch of guys, but in the end it worked out.
Absolutely worked out for you. Maybe not so much for the other teammates, but for you, it worked out very nicely. So congrats on the second place here. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Dega.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate everything you guys do in the booth.
Appreciate you too, buddy. Thanks for the shout out. That is the second place finisher here tonight, the 6 of Eric Blunt. Last but not least, your winner here tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell.
Hey, Max, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth to copy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, you get yourself a win here at Bristol. The last Coliseum, as they so call it. Definitely a crazy one at the beginning. You came in here and you were able to have that long green flag run and have yourself in a situation when a caution came out late to be able to stay out there to put yourself in a pretty good situation here as you walk away the winner here tonight. But go ahead and give us a rundown of how your race was, and I guess we'll just see what it takes to win here at Bristol.
Would you believe me if I said it was terrible?
I mean, I would agree.
Did y'all see the first 3 yellows? Car got creamed 3 times. Had damage, minute and a half or more. Trying to fix 20 seconds at a time. Get that long green run, and the right front did not like the damage. When I pitted and that yellow came out, that saved the race. Shout out 41. When that yellow came out, I told him I was going to make a joke on the broadcast, so he'll have to catch that one. But when that yellow came out, it saved us because I had nothing to race for. I was 14th, getting ready to go a lap down. The right front's obliterated. It was 55% when I pitted, like it was gone. So the car was atrocious with the damage. Back in the pack, couldn't do nothing. All those guys started pitting. I had 20 laps of fuel more than they did because of all the times I tried to fix damage. So I said, screw it. Let's just see what we can do. That yellow comes out, and I'm like, okay, I'm like last car on the lead lap. There's like 4 of us. I'll come out 4th. Don't know how I come out the leader. Don't ask me. Don't know. I took a faster pair. I took 4 tires. I took a full tank. And then we got clean air, and that was all she wrote. And then the car handled like an absolute dream up front, like setting faster times than I was able to in practice all night long and everything, like just light switch. But, man, if it wasn't for that yellow, it would have been another terrible night with a bunch of bad luck. So we got very fortunate tonight. I told my teammate it's kind of a Mickey Mouse win tonight, but, sometimes you got to take those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're not going to complain about a win. A win's a win, but yeah, you definitely had troubles in the beginning, and you're at that point, like as a driver, myself, you're just like, man, it's just one of them nights again. Why am I still out here? But you stuck with it, and that's what matters the most, and you're able to make the best of it. Obviously, as with a win, and yeah, I think with the sun finally going down all the way. The cooler track temperatures, and that car just seemed hooked as you were able to pull away just a little bit there from your competitors right behind you as they got the benefit from those early wrecks that they were involved in as well, and forcing them to pit and being able to stay out for a few more laps while you guys were under green before got to caution again. But again, from CRN, we wanted to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you might have on that number 94.
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Man, this is such a frustrating sport, but he's blessed me so much to be able to meet some amazing people, to have some friends. Like I said, joking with Dalton, he's not even a teammate, but getting to make friends with him and some other drivers throughout the league here. It's always great to build those relationships, and thank my Lord for that. I think my sponsor, Merkel Racing Engines, Todd, was out this week. He had a nice event to go to, I think maybe a concert or something. So he said Bristol wasn't his forte anyway. He'll like the restrictor plate next week. So shout out to him for the sponsorship. Been on the car for many years on a Cup car, and now he's sponsoring this ARCA car for this league. So glad to have him on board. Glad to get him the W here tonight. Hopefully he goes back and watches. And thankful for my teammates. Todd, again, wasn't here tonight. But Andrew Paleshi's with me each and every week, and we both got to score top 5 finishes tonight, so that's awesome. Give him a shout out for that. And then just got to thank the league and all the people and you guys broadcasting, man. Y'all do such a great job calling these races, and tonight was probably definitely one of them interesting ones and probably one of them head scratchers when the whole front of the field got flipped with that yellow. So normally I get burned on those more times than any, but hey, we'll take that flip here tonight. It got us the track position we need and scored a much needed win with a bunch of bad luck we've been having.
Yeah, it's always good to turn around a little bit of bad luck with a good old win and some good points towards that championship at the end. But again, from CRN, as always, we appreciate the shout outs, and we want to say congratulations on the win, and let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. See y'all next week at Dega.
That is your winner here tonight, the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. And yeah, certainly Todd Merkel choosing Pink Floyd over Gray Concrete here tonight. I'm sure Barry out there, I know, doesn't mind. I know he's certainly a big Pink Floyd fan. So shout out to Todd Merkel. Well, I'm sure we'll see him back out here next week when we head to Talladega. And I mean, you want to talk about how this thing got turned on its head right in the middle of the race. I mean, at Talladega can get turned on its head about 16 different ways. And I could see 16 cars involved in one incident. The big one is always around the corner at Talladega. And then right after that, we head to the Chicagoland Speedway. And that's just it's a different type of track. I mean, it's a tri-oval, but kind of not. You got that the whole backstretch is kind of an elongated turn. It's just a funky little track out there in Chicagoland before we take a couple weeks off and then head to me and Jimmy's one of two favorites, Michigan Speedway. So I'm looking forward to a great May as we'll finish off at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well. So some really, really good tracks coming up in the month of May. I want to thank everyone out there once again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Help these guys get their product out there because they certainly deserve it. And thank you for tuning in, both for myself and Jimmy here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.